Howdy, good morning, and welcome into the Real Monica Adams Show. We are excited to be at Yuppy Puppy Pet Spa in Cottleville, Yuppy Puppies Forever Rescue. We're going to talk about the big gala coming up on October 19th. We are inching closer and closer to 200 tickets. We'd love to go way beyond that, and we've got a couple weeks to do so. So get your tickets now. Don't wait to the last second. I know some people wait. Oh, I got something to do tomorrow. Oh, let's go to a gala. No, we need you to know in advance so that we can get that information to Jessica and the team so they can get everything planned. It's going to be a great time, by the way. We'll talk about that. We'll also talk about, this is exciting, all the dogs that got adopted from the last show that we did, the big parade of pets. And then, of course, that means openings for new dogs to come in. So we'll show you some of the new adoptees coming up for you shortly. We've got weather, we've got news you can use, and we'll talk about our big 400th show that's coming up on Friday. Thank you to all of you that have purchased tickets so far to raise money for our first responders. We are giving the proceeds to Responder Rescue. And I got great news for you. I got an email or text message the other day that I was waiting for to find out if my special guest was going to be able to make it by. And she is. Ruby Lee from The Voice, who's been on the show a few times. She will be coming to the 400th show. So if you're waiting to buy your tickets and you'd like to see her with us, performing a couple songs live on air with us. And I'm sure she probably would also maybe stick around a little bit and maybe perform a couple others. We'll also have another band there. A steak dinner awaits you. And then we'll have some giveaways, a couple drink tickets, all of that on Friday, again, as we celebrate 400 shows already since we launched this a year and a half ago. I also walked in this morning and Jessica said that this is our anniversary. I have 2 anniversaries today. So Jessica joined us in studio a year ago as we kick things off with this wonderful collaboration that we've had going on. And then it's also our anniversary. Today, me and Jim celebrating 9 years since we got married. We'll be back together 12 years in December. But on this day, 9 years ago, woke up. In fact, at this very moment, I think I was running around the streets of Augusta, Missouri with my bridesmaids and then stopped at this gorgeous gazebo, looked up and had the most beautiful sunrise, talked to my dad in heaven, talked to God, asked for a gorgeous day. And then it got really windy and very, very cold. I was so cold outside. All my guests had all these wraps around them. It was nuts. Actually, Chuck Gillentine from Defiance Ridge was talking about it last night when we got together. Hope you saw that show last night. We were at his house in Lake Sherwood. Such a beautiful view he has there. So it was a lot of fun. A good night. I hope you had a good one as well. Speaking of beautiful weather and cold weather, back and forth, we've got the up and down. A lot of you might be a little cold this morning, but wow, what a gorgeous day we have in store. Here's your forecast. 82 and sunshine, not a mention of a cloud at all today. 58 for our low tonight. We go into tomorrow where it will be 84, 62 for the low. And then on Saturday, 87. So we're actually looking back near warm summertime weather. And you see the little icon for St. Louis City SC. That is the final home game of the season. It's going to be a little breezy as we go into Saturday night and into Sunday. 82 again for Sunday. And then we don't see the 80s again until the following weekend. Look at all of next week, just a little bit of clouds mixed in, no mention of rain at all in this 10-day forecast. You can see the following weekend, Friday, Saturday, you go to the low 80s, 80 and 82. So looking pretty spectacular for sure. This is fall. Definitely, what was it, a week and a half ago, fall officially kicked off. Definitely fall time weather. All right, we're going to get into some news you can use before we get into our positive talk time segment. This will affect some of you drivers. Broken gas line shutting down the northbound lanes of South Lindbergh from I-64 to Conway Road. Now, it's not affecting 40. That's the good news for you. According to Frontenac Police, Spire has been notified of a broken gas line. They're on scene. This is actually the second time this has happened just this week. So again, northbound lanes of South Lindbergh closed from 64 to Conway due to a broken gas line. Drivers are asked to avoid the area at this time while repairs take place. So you might want to send a text to anyone that's driving in that direction. Well, I got an email on this the other day, and if you in fact have the same insurance, you've probably been warned about this. Thousands of Mercy patients are being notified of possible cost increase and the exit of the hospital from insurance network. 500,000 Missourians could be impacted by the fallout from a contract dispute between the Mercy healthcare system and Anthem Blue Cross Blue Shield. Mercy recently sent an email to patients telling them that nearly a year of negotiations have failed to produce an agreement with Anthem over what the insurance company pays for healthcare procedures. That email notified all of us patients that without an agreement, Mercy doctors will be out of network and cost more, or patients will have to find new doctors. So, not sure if they can wrap up negotiations and change things for you. Otherwise, that will be a huge impact, again, on all those that have Anthem. The Red Cross is in need of your help, urgent need of disaster shelter volunteers, more than 1,200 volunteers, urgent need, the required training that is taking place right now with the American Red Cross, and you have to commit to 2 weeks of deployment. Obviously, they are needing your help with everything that's going on with Hurricane Helene. Up to 160 people, we told you, were said to be dead, but they still are missing hundreds of others, and saying that in those rural areas, they fear that those numbers really could go up. This man that's going to pop up on your screen, you remember him, don't you? John Amos, good from the show Good Times, and Emmy-nominated Roots star, died at the age of 84. He starred as the family patriarch on Good Times. He earned an Emmy nomination for the 1977 miniseries Roots. He died in August of natural causes in Los Angeles, but they're just now coming out and talking about this from his publicist, confirming the news of his death. The show Good Times was the closest depiction in reality to life as an African-American family living in those circumstances as it could be. That's according to family members that talked to Time magazine. So again, rest in peace. What an incredible actor he was. All right, let's get into some sports news for you. Are you a big Cardinals fan? Well, you might have a hard time finding a place to watch the games for 2025. The Cardinals TV rights for next year, unclear, because Bally has dropped 2 teams. Diamond Sports Group, that's the parent company that holds broadcast rights to the Cardinals, dropped 2 teams on Wednesday and indicated others might have to renegotiate. They dropped the contract for the Detroit Tigers and the Tampa Bay Rays. However, that move could still be open to renegotiation. The company said it intends to keep the contract for the Braves for 2025. Now, the statements came during a hearing for Diamond in U.S. bankruptcy court for the Southern District of Texas. St. Louis is still under contract with Diamond through 2025, but the Cardinals could be asked to renegotiate. And this is no surprise. Anybody who's been to see a St. Louis City SC game, how about this? City Park, named one of the world's most beautiful sports venues. That is no-brainer. I mean, it's probably one of the most gorgeous stadiums I've ever been in. City Park will compete against the venues in the sports category for one of the 3 2024 world titles. The special prize for an interior, the special prize for an exterior. The winners will be announced in December. And we mentioned St. Louis City SC. They unfortunately lost last night. They have their final home game of the season coming up on Saturday. And Mizzou, college football week 6, Missouri, Texas A&M, the only top 25 matchup, but other games loom at large. So that will be a big one coming up this weekend. All right, that's all the news you need. And that's sports news. That's your weather forecast. We're going to take our first quick break. When we come back, we're going to talk with Jessica Cooke. We are going to show you, this is exciting, the dogs that got adopted. Again, I have so many people that reached out and said that they loved the Parade of Pets. Got a chance to see all the doggies that were up for adoption. But that also means, again, because they do incredible work here, that opens up for new animals to come in, which is the need for your help. And you can do that by obviously donating. I really would love to see you in person, though, on October 19th at the big gala, Whitmore Country Club, and it opens up at 5:30. We're going to have so many things that Jessica's going to tell us about that will be there that night. So stay tuned for that. It's all coming up as we kick off our Positive Talk Time segment next. We are live on location, and this is the really cool thing. This is exactly what we can do from your business. We call it Mobile Monica. You know, I'm always on the move. Everyone knows about Jody's balls, and why is that?
I have the best balls.
Oh my God. You enjoying this?
Always.
Watch this, I gotta move with her.
Orange Theory is created to help people live a more vibrant life.
When we tell you that they have some of the most beautiful sunsets. We mean it. We're now in the brainchild of Adventure Unknown. That thing
Well, he's got a heck of a
beautiful.
story behind that leopard,
I
too.
know. It's going to be a very dangerous shoot. Diana.
It'll be
She says it
fabulous.
is. Monica or Mez Adams. How's that
Yes,
sound?
that sounds great.
This is Marianne Graff, owner of Just Be Kind Coffee House and Cafe. And you can see all the people in line. Oh, that handsome gentleman is... That would be my husband, Jim.
My mission statement says I want people to feel better leaving than when they came in.
And you do. Again, no calories when you're spreading kindness.
No calories when you're spreading kindness, especially if it's on the weekend.
Yay! So many of you say that this is one of your absolute favorite segments, and you can't wait for Jessica and I to be together. We love to hear that, and we love all the wonderful work that we've been able to do together. So it's our anniversary.
I know. Happy anniversary.
Hugs. Dang it, I didn't get you a present. So she said she was looking in the calendar, and it was this time last year that you first came in studio.
Yeah.
And then we came up with the idea of doing Positive Talk Time and coming here every other Thursday. And it's been so fun. We've had some incredible discussions. We've laughed together. We've talked about things that made me red, and I was blushing. I looked back actually and saw some of the reels, and I was like, oh yeah, yep, we talked about that. But then we've also educated you. We've cried together.
Yep.
It has been an incredible year for sure.
Yes.
And one of the things that we are excited about, that we've been discussing, is your upcoming gala.
Yes.
So it's October 3rd. So we're only a couple weeks away, less than a couple weeks away. And you're up to about 175 tickets?
Yep, about 175.
We really would love to push that, though. That. And we would love to get a sellout. I know a lot of people wait, unfortunately, to the last second. But that would be hard on you because you're trying to do seating arrangements, etc.
Yes.
So tell everybody what they're going to get to experience that night.
So first of all, we have this one event, one big fundraiser a year. So it's so important to us because that really sets the budget for the following year to see how much funds we have for vet care, which that's all the funds go for that night is vet care for vetting these dogs. It's a sit down dinner, open bar, Steve Ewing band, you're emceeing. We have great items this year. So many. We've got a Puerto Rico trip.
I saw that.
And we've got the Kentucky Bourbon Trail trip. We have so many great trips. One of the things we decided to live auction, so it's like hot off the press, is so many people want to help and be involved. And so we're going to auction off a rescue day with me. So people will get to go to the shelter, see how the process is, experience why our hearts are tugged when there's eyes looking at you and how we choose who we do and all of that. So that process. And then they will get to name the dog, come back, do all the intake process with us, and then follow that dog's journey.
I just, within the last year, was at a charity event, and that was one of the things that they auctioned off, and it went for good money. So I want you all to understand, because it's kind of like a ride along with police. You never know what they're truly going through. Then you see it firsthand, and then it's like, what do you need from me? I will open up my money because I you see it firsthand. So you've been doing this for how long? Rescuing?
Well, the nonprofit became in 2018, but
you were doing it before.
I've been doing it forever. That's how we got started was as the business, so many people were coming in and I was taking on their dogs and it was just so many. I was like, I really need to become a rescue because now it's not just a dog here or there. We had lots of dogs we were finding homes for.
Yeah.
So
again, great work. And so the rescue component is right here at Yuppy Puppy Pet Spa in Cottleville. She's got 2 locations of the pet spa, Cottleville and O'Fallon. And thank you to all of you that have come in, that have come to look at the dogs, those of you that have adopted dogs. And that's what we wanted to talk about today. The dogs that have been adopted since just our last show. So you had your big open house. That was the last one of the year?
Yeah. No, not of the year. Just we're not having any in October.
Okay.
So that was the last one, September and October.
Because
we're full gala speed ahead.
Yeah. So you will have some in November.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So last one in October, and then we're going to run through and look at some pictures of the forever homes. So let's start off here.
Tumbleweed.
Tumbleweed.
So this was fantastic. This is a true story of the dogs end up exactly where they're supposed to be all along. So last Christmas, we had a litter of puppies. They were the Texas 7, Mama Blue.
Mm-hmm.
And we said, anyone who wants to open up your house for the holidays, so come pick up on December 23rd and return the 26th. Well, everybody adopted the dog that they had fostered over the holidays except Tumbleweed. And it just wasn't a right time. She kept in touch. He was quickly adopted shortly after that in January. And he came back and was returned. And she immediately contacted us and said, this is my sign. He is meant to be with me.
Tumbleweed.
So he's living his best life.
Yay.
And then Willie Nelson.
Oh my gosh.
Nelson.
When we were doing the parade, Willie really, I was like, oh, look at this dog coming in. Huge dog that just came running in with a ton of energy.
Yes.
So who's this family? Do you remember their names?
I don't remember their names offhand, but yeah, they came in and that was they found us through Facebook. Someone shared and shared and shared, and they said, they had never heard of the rescue and came in and fell in love. He was so great with their kids. He's having a blast hanging out with those boys. And yeah, we went through the process and he went home. So he's living his best life.
And that's what this is all about, folks. It's trying to find the right home, the forever home. Again, not a home like, oh, okay, for a little bit and then return. The returning aspect is something none of us understand, but unfortunately, Jessica has seen it a lot. So it's making sure that it's the right fit. I hate using the word perfect, but that it is the right fit.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we're going to go through the ones again that were adopted since the last show.
Phyllis.
Hi, Phyllis.
Phyllis was great. She was truly a small dog that was like, it could go, we call her like, she was a unicorn. Loved dogs, loved kids, loved everybody. And a woman actually seen her. She was featured on Channel 5 with Running Out when we do our Tuesdays. And she came in and had been working the process. And so she went home as well.
Yay. And
then Pierre.
Look at that face.
This gentleman, so he lives right outside of Chicago. And typically we don't adopt out of state because you have to go through our process no matter what. And he did all that. He Zoomed with us. He drove up here several times and did all that. So kudos to him because it was a road trip for him to come meet these dogs and process. And his name is now Snoop, and he sends us updates, and he's living his best life.
He's a fan of Snoop on The Voice. Have you seen him on there yet?
I have.
Oh, you have to. Folks, if you haven't watched, I mean, I think that might be one of the best 4 I've ever seen. Gwen Stefani, Reba McEntire, Michael Bublé, and Snoop Dogg.
Okay.
Oh, it's very good. Very, very good. All right. Continuing. If you're just tuning in, by the way, it is the Positive Talk Time segment that we do at Yuppy Puppies Forever Rescue. And what we're seeing is the forever homes of the dogs since last show when we did the Parade of Pets. This is the one I fell in love with.
Victor.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was like, if I didn't have 3 dogs,
so
Victor's coming home.
He was our youngest puppy we had. And this wonderful family, they came in and they had lost their dog, and they originally had said, they were tearful. They were opening up their heart. They wanted a new dog, and we had the talk. It's not going to be replaced. It's not, we're not going to find you one that's just like your dog. But let's talk. We got to know them, and they originally came in and said, we want a girl and we want one that's about 3 years old.
Yeah, that didn't happen.
And after talking with them and knowing they wanted a dog that very moldable, and I said, are you open to a puppy? Like, are you available for, crate training, potty training, continuing that? And they're like, we don't really know. And I was like, so let me go grab Victor. And we got Victor, and tears instantly.
Aww.
He bonded with them, and then they came and did the process. And we already set them up for training and talked about, transitioning, and he's doing great.
And we've talked about this before, but if you're new to our segment, if you adopt from Yuppy Puppies Forever Rescue, you get 50% off of training for life.
For life, yeah.
So come on.
Yeah. We do that because there are going to be questions.
Sure.
If you haven't had a puppy in a long time, or you have a shy, timid rescue, or they go home and they're doing counter surfing, we're always available for phone calls. But when we say sign up within the first 2 weeks, because routines start to set in about 3 weeks. So if they aren't doing any,
You're trying to break that?
if they're already, too comfortable in the home, reach out to us, sign up, let's help you do that. And so many people do, and we believe that's what keeps them in the home, is that understanding.
Well, I love the fact that you brought up that people will come in and they swear in their minds that they're set. I want a girl. I want this size. I want this breed. I want this age. I don't want this. And all of a sudden it's like, look what I left.
Yeah.
I didn't expect this to happen. You got to keep an open mind.
Exactly. And when so yes, they'll give us all those, I want young, I want a female, I want fluffy, I want this. But then we listen to, I want a dog that can hang out with my grandkids. We go out a lot. How is the dog car rider? So we listen to all those other things, what they're talking about, and say, well, it's not the physical version of what you wanted, but all those things you said, this is the dog that will do all those things.
That's in life. They listen, right? We always talk about the importance of really centering yourself and focusing and listening. If they just said, oh, okay, this person wants this and this, they would completely miss what the connection really should be. And we always talk about the fact that the dog is really choosing you. You do that together. All right, the last one before we take our break and we talk about what room has been made for new dogs, as well as a special that they are going to be offering for this rest of this year going into January. So the last one.
Susie Q and Macy. So they came to us, 2 peas in a pod. They're clearly, and we keep our bonded pairs together.
Good.
Their owner passed away. Yes, would it have been easier to separate them and adopt one
Earlier.
at a time? Of course. But, we truly want to honor the wishes of the deceased people, and they were together. And, so they came, they're great. They kept getting passed over because there was 2, and, they were older. And this wonderful family said, I don't care. This is built-in family. This is great. We're going to keep them together. So
absolutely. So as you can see, we are at Yuppy Puppies Forever Rescue, our positive talk time segment. So thank you to all of those families that adopted those dogs. We got to keep doing that. Unfortunately, it is a daily thing where rescues are having to take in more and more. And sometimes they have to say no. They want to be able to open their doors to all of them, but it's an expense, a huge expense. She's mentioned this on past segments, $90,000 just this past year to take care of all the dogs they did take in.
It was our highest one. So, and then we took in several, because when we have a room open, we took that. And so I think since our last show with the intake so far, the ones that even haven't, we're still scheduling some of the surgeries, we've spent about $2,500 on the intakes we just took in.
Which again is the need for what we've been talking about, the big gala that's coming up on October 19th. It's important for you to, if you can't go, that you can tell somebody else, hey, buy a ticket, support them, do everything that you can to help them bring that money in to raise the money going into the end of this year and into next year. There's the QR code, by the way. If you want to scan that, and then you can look at how you can purchase tickets. The donations, again, we've been mentioning the live auction, the silent auction. I would love to see you there. Again, I'm going to do the MC work and do everything I can to raise some big money for them. You've got an animal communicator that will be there doing the aura readings. You also will have these dogs. How many will you think you have out
We're going
there?
to bring 3, because we had the 3 Wishes sponsors. So we got 3 of those. And so they're coming. Then their adoption fees are paid by the wonderful sponsors. All kinds of stuff, silent auctions, raffle auctions, animal communicator. It's just a great night.
And you get to get dressed up. So, so Chuck, who we were with last night, Chuck's actually going to be at our table.
Okay.
He and his wife will be with us. And his wife said, do we get dressed up? I'm like, yes.
Yeah.
Right. It's one of those fun nights. They were asking, so is it cocktail dresses? Is it full? Is it really whatever someone's feeling?
Cocktail. Yeah. It's, it's fancy, but it's not. It's more, guys usually wear
suits.
A suit.
So not tuxes.
Yeah, no tuxes.
Okay.
No, not black tie.
Or a sport coat and slacks.
Think wedding reception, something nice like that.
Again, but it's a fun night out. Yeah. So when you're
come as you are, we don't even care. It's about the dogs.
Exactly. All right, we're raising big money for them. It is 7:25. We're going to take a break. So what that has done, the adoptions that took place have opened up for space for new dogs to come in. So we're going to run through and show you you those and also talk about this really awesome special that Jessica and her staff are running for the rest of this year and something special that you get going into January. So all of that is coming up for you next on Positive Talk Time.
Discover your full potential with a personalized styling experience. Designing, customizing, and transforming the looks of men and women. Revamp your individual style and embrace what makes you, you. That's real confidence.
Been talking about taking care of yourself, and this is the place to do so. 425 New Ballas Road. As you walk in, you want to go to this suite, Elemental Aesthetics. They're at 206. Jennifer Warman Bloss just became part of our sponsorship team, and I went in and had a facial. Jessica, you're going to love this place. Went in and had an incredible facial. She's been an esthetician since 2001, and she said, nothing against anybody else that's out there in our area, but she truly believes that she is at the top of the game in our area. She gets the most high-end lasers, the most high-end treatments for your skin. But it's not just for facial. So people are like, okay, well, if you don't need a facial, how about you have weight loss consultation? And it could be more medical based. It could be where they just need to consult you on what you've been currently doing in your life. IV hydration therapy right there as well. Elemental Aesthetics, as I mentioned, located on North New Ballas Road, Suite 206 in the Creve Coeur area. I want to go in and also talk to her about the bed that they have. If you know anybody that has ADD or ADHD, she talks about this vibration bed that is teamed with music. And I bet you Jessica can tell us about how they're able to calm dogs that maybe would be diagnosed with the same thing and how music can help them. So Jennifer Warman Bloss will be back with us next week with Elemental Aesthetics. Welcome back to Positive Talk Time. We are in the Cottleville area for Yuppy Puppies Forever Rescue. And if you have not been here, here's a view for you when you walk in the door. It's just absolutely gorgeous. So many things that they do here besides the rescue side. A lot of you have probably come in for grooming. You've been grooming how many years?
Oh gosh, I think 35.
Oh my!
35.
You're not 35 yet. You don't even look like you're 35. So it's also if somebody is looking, which I wish, in all my years of TV, I used to always say, I wish there was a place that was opened up so I could drop the dogs off at 3:00 in the morning because I would have loved to have been able to have the dogs go in for daycare. So a lot of you do that. And then it's also the boarding aspect. If it's a weekend, it's a week. What's the longest you said you've had somebody board?
We've had somebody board about 6 months. We do quite a bit of from MasterCard people that are traveling or working overseas. You name it.
6 months. Wow.
Yeah.
Again, and that's when you need somebody to step in that you can trust. And that's her and her staff. They're incredible. So again, 2 locations for you. Yuppy Puppy Pet Spa here in Cottleville, where the rescue component is. And then as well, the one in O'Fallon, Missouri. If you missed our first half hour, we were showing you all the dogs. Super excited that got adopted since our last segment. But that opened up space for them to bring in new doggies. So let's start running through what you have now, because maybe the dogs you're going to see on your screen are going to be meant for your family.
That is Peppa. We love her. So she was an unexpected delivery transfer, so I went into the shelter. She happened to be being returned, or not returned. She was brought in as a stray, but it turns out the family that owned her, they were dropping her off saying she was a stray, but the microchip was linked back to them.
Are you serious?
So, yeah.
What is wrong with
and
people,
so
Jessica?
that's why she was pulling so much to get back,
to them.
She knew. And I said, pack her up. She is coming with me.
Absolutely.
She is coming with me.
Well, and that's the thing that goes through your mind and your heart is I want to take these all in, but how do you make your decisions?
Well, we try to stay true to our mission. So definitely any dog that is at a shelter, they're asking to transfer because the owner is deceased or terminally ill. And then we also get emails from clients. We just recently got a beagle we'll talk about too, where they were clients for years. And then really all the shelters really work closely together. The government intake shelters, they're they're angels, the people at the front desk, because they just have to bite their tongue with everything that they see. Like when that was happening,
Yep.
they're just like, well, here's the form, sign here. And I'm over in the corner being like, like dying. And I'm like, I would so be fired. I couldn't work here. And, and again, you don't know maybe why, maybe they're on hard times. Maybe they didn't want to do it. I always try to give grace, but at the same time, you're screaming inside,
Sure.
And then, so we take on 2 dogs that, like Randy, the golden doodle, and he was on the euthanasia list because they're government intake. So if they have a hoarding case, if they have stray dogs, they have to hold those dogs. So that means somebody has to draw the short stick, and there's nothing wrong with them. So the volunteers reach out and plead with us. And
and that's the thing about every rescue in our area, how you all work together.
Yeah.
So if you're saying we can't take them in, you're calling another one. Can you guys, because you see these horrible living conditions, if they're in danger, obviously it's let's get them out of this.
Yeah.
If somebody obviously doesn't, like she just mentioned, doesn't want the dog, and that's when you look at that and go, how can you not? I mean, look at that face. All they want to do is bring you unconditional love. So I have a feeling, did you say Peppy? Peppa, I have a feeling Peppa's going to go quick. You mentioned a beagle as well.
Yeah, so this is Abby. So we knew her. She's almost 7 years old. She was a tiny little puppy as a client when she first came in. She lived with a German Shepherd. She came every day for daycare while her parents were working, grooming, boarding. So we have got to know her her whole life. And then Lola, the German Shepherd, passed away. And the family doesn't have any family. They both are showing signs of dementia. They're checking themselves into a home, and they asked if we would take Abby and she's comfortable there. She knows us. And so of course we said yes. And that's how our mission, that's how it started.
Yeah.
That's what I was doing that on my own all these years, owning
Sure.
Yuppy Puppy. And now the need is so great. So
come on, Abby.
Yeah,
Abby and Peppa's, who we've shown so far. How many did you bring in? You sent me 13 photos? 13?
I think 13 or
Holy
14.
cow. These are beautiful dogs. Who's this?
So this is Greta. So she's actually just our guest, but we're probably going to transfer her. So she was there when I was visiting Peppa. She is undergoing some treatment for some possible mammary tumors, and she's not spayed. So she's currently underneath the pet adoption center, but she was stressing out, and it's imperative for her health to get better, and if she has to go under surgery. So we transferred her to us just as for care, and she's doing wonderful. And so they pick her up and take her to her vet appointments. And so she's just a guest, but she can be fostered through them.
She can be fostered. Okay.
Yeah.
Again, and we've always mentioned, if you are interested in adopting any of these dogs, please do not call and say, hey, I've left messages to the phone number for Yuppy Puppy Pet Spa. They take all the calls coming in for grooming and boarding, etc., that they can't do it that way. That's not how you go in. Hannah is at home moderating and dropping in the links for you if you're interested in any of these dogs. Michelle says, does Peppa like to play in muddy puddles?
Yes, she's almost 2 years old, and she is a happy-go-lucky, typical black lab that I posted. She's going to steal your heart and steal your sandwich. Like she would do well with children, dogs, and she'd be an adventure dog.
So again, we're showing you some of the dogs that have come in and are available for adoption. I just want to bounce back. Marilyn said, I know there's a rescue working Hurricane Helene. And we always see this with the horrific things that happen in our world. And you see these dogs that get scared and get separated from their owners and never get back together with them. Are any of those rescues coming in our area?
So most likely. So Missouri is so full, though, that we don't transfer usually from out of state. And that what we do is we will help the dogs that are here. If the APA, the Humane Society, they go and rescue dogs in need and bring them here, because the problem is, yes, we're saving those dogs, taking them out of a critical condition from a hurricane, but then that means the dogs here are going to get bumped.
Right.
So we want to focus on the dogs that are here needing our help, that have been waiting.
Absolutely. And I mentioned at the beginning with the news you can use that volunteers are coming from all over to help. It's devastating to see the pictures of what has happened from Hurricane Helene in North Carolina and Florida and all the states and the rural areas where I know you pull a lot of dogs from. There's still hundreds of people that are missing, animals also that have been separated from their families. So the need is there. Red Cross, again, looking for volunteers. You do have to be trained in helping that. But thank you all that are able to open up your time and your wallets and help out with those as well. We're looking at dogs that are looking for their forever family. Look, who are these two?
There's three. That's Elvin.
There's another one.
That's Elvin, Simon, and Theodore.
Of course it is.
So, and that's after their haircut on the way to the vet. So they were in horrible conditions. There was about 35 of them used for breeding. And another rescue group that kind of networks and befriends these breeders and educates. They weren't selling as much, which is great because we talk about if the demand isn't there, then that saves these dogs. They were able to get, I believe, almost 30 out of this house that was breeding.
Wow.
So we pulled 3, and they've already had dentals, heartworm, and neutered, and they're recovering. So that was a giant expense, but they'll be ready.
Simon,
they'll be ready soon.
Again, keep an eye to our page of where you can find out about all these dogs that we're talking about that are available. Okay, this one just is so sweet looking.
I know. So
is that you holding?
No.
Oh, I know you're in some of these pictures later.
That is Sanders. We named him Colonel Sanders because the condition that he came in was horrible, and he needed emergency grooming, and he was cranky, and he had every right. This is one of the worst mattings. I had to almost saw action my clipper. It took 4 hours just to remove the matting. So much skin irritation underneath and nails that were grown into his paw pads. So we went and bought a rotisserie chicken and fed him the whole time while we were grooming. And that did the trick. So we were like, he's got to have a chicken name.
Oh God, Colonel! Look at these pictures of what he looked like when he came to you.
We weighed his hair. He had 6 pounds of hair on him.
Come on, people.
His eyes, ears, his penis, and his rectum were all matted solid. So to get that off, it was just kind of collecting all in there.
Unbelievable what they have to go through. When you have to go through hours of that type of grooming because of what has taken place to them, you have to break it up, right? Yeah. And then because they get a little exhausted.
Yeah.
Poor baby. But now looks like this.
Yes. And he's totally different. And so that he learned that at the end, obviously when then we gave him a bath and he's zooming all around, we're like, see, this is what we were trying to do. We weren't trying to hurt you. We had to get those matting off. And he's fantastic.
I used to ask the question, and I think you've answered it in the past, that when they get groomed, do they feel handsome and pretty?
Oh, yeah.
You know they do.
Oh, you know they do.
Because they prance.
They prance. The poodles look at themselves in the mirror. They're so excited. Yeah. They know where the bows are and where the bandanas are. They get so excited.
Yeah, see, it's just like you, right? You go in and you get your hair done or you get your makeup done and you feel better about yourself. It's the same thing for them. It's why it is needed. Well, and this will actually carry over into, before we continue to see the other dogs that are available, tell them about the special you have.
So the special, so our regular clients know this. So we have a VIP program. So if you book every 4 weeks, you get $19 in extra services. So you're getting the facial, the nail grind, teeth brushing. For the clients that aren't on the VIP program. So if you get a grooming in October and you book your November, December, in January, you get 50% off your grooming. And some people say, well, my dog needs it every 6 weeks. My dog needs it every 8 weeks. It doesn't mean you have to get a full haircut, but come in and get a bath, get the nails, get the ears. That monthly grooming not only sets them up for a routine, and our stylists book like hairdressers. So we get everybody calling November and December. I got family coming.
Yep.
Can I get my
It's
dog
holidays.
in? Well, all those regular clients throughout the year are already booked. So that this way you set it and forget it,
Yep.
drop your dog off once a month and then get a discount rewarded for it.
Yeah, again, 50% off in January. I think that's awesome. So put that on the schedule for your babies. You've mentioned in the past they should get their nails done how often?
So rescues, when they're overgrown, you can take nails down every 2 weeks.
2
Like
weeks.
if they're overgrown, we're going to get them filed in. And we do walk-in nail trims for $25 anytime. But yes, you'd be surprised just, and we really don't want the doodles and the dogs having to get matted and shaved down in January and February when it's cold. So by having them come in, even for a bath and a brush out, it's going to keep them tangle free. It's going to insulate their body during the weather. And so, yeah.
Well, and you have mentioned this on a past show, the people that will shave the dogs down in the heat of the summer, or try to put the coats back in the winter, etc. They're actually doing more harm than good.
Yes. Yeah. Because if a lot of people say, well, I'm going to get my dog groomed in February, but it's matted salad. So it's all about the air circulation. That's how dogs, like outside dogs, can regulate their body temperature. A matted dog is not doing any good. It's like putting a wet towel over you. So you have to be able to, at any point all over the dog, be able to see their skin, run your hands through it. Then that's insulating them. And in the summer, it's the same thing. If the dog is completely deshedded, tangle free, undercoat free, that coat's actually cooling them and keeping them more protected.
Well, and I've seen so many people that shave their dogs and then they get all of these hives and things on them, and then they're getting sunburn. And they're, again, you don't want to be doing that to your animals. So stop it. Leave it to the pros. Okay, it's 7:41. Let me take a break. When we come back, we've got a few others that are available for adoption, hopefully for your family. If you or someone else that you know is interested in these dogs, keep an eye on the links that Hannah is dropping for you. Again, I think this time of year, you'll have to tell me when you come back. Is this when everybody starts thinking about, oh, I'm going to get a puppy for my child and put it underneath the Christmas tree? Yeah, let's talk about that and whether that's a good thing or a bad thing.
Let's talk about that.
All right, stay tuned. More Positive Talk Time when we return.
Exactly. One of our things we always say is we want everybody to leave with a smile.
Oh, and trust me, they do. I've seen a lot of smiles here today. There's so many levels of why you will love these ladies, but giving back to the community, supporting the community, collaborating with other businesses.
Space. Now we give parameters here. Power walkers generally use incline. Yeah, I know.
Go, girls, go.
Because you're not only getting some great local roasted coffee, you're getting good people.
Good people is what it's about. And by the way, that person who turned up their nose, karma is that you know what.
Everyone needs to be kind. And it starts really with the adults. And then it goes down because we're the ones that are instilling this in our children, in our families, and everything thereafter.
We are live on location. And this is a really cool thing. This is exactly what we can do from your business. We call it Mobile Monica. You know, I'm always on the move. So we are into October, which usually means if you haven't closed your pool already, that you are looking to do so. You know, you've got this beautiful stretch of weather over the next 10 days at least, where you've got no rain. Good time to start getting those pools closed up. If you don't want to do it yourself, you can get on the books with the staff at Just Pools. Again, pool and spa specialists. If you are doing it yourself, they have 10% off of the winterizing kits. They also have 50% off all of that, all those fun toys. Why don't you stock up for next year so that you're ahead of the game? And then maybe transition and think, okay, I really have always wanted to have one of those. Those are the spas that they have at Just Pools. They're also getting more in. So as we transition into the colder season, not only is it fun to have when the weather's cold, but it is really therapeutic. And I think about all of us that have some pain from the accident that I was in. This is nothing better than sitting in a hot tub. It really is a therapeutic side for you. So think about that as well. And then for those of you that would like that in your backyard, start sitting down with Madonna and her team and find out what would work for you. Is it an in-ground? Is it an above-ground pool? Do you want to add on to the one that you have? Maybe you want to add a step feature or some of those cool rock, water, fire features. They can do that for you. They are located, by the way, on the West Outer Road in Arnold. Again, love the fact that you support those that support us. Just Pools, the pool and spa specialist. It is 7:44. Welcome back. We are at Yuppy Puppy Pet Spa in Cottleville. We've got our positive talk time segment with Yuppy Puppies Forever Rescue. I want to thank Ashlyn here from my team that is been shooting for you, and she's at that front door when the dogs. It seems quiet today. Are there no dogs being dropped off?
Oh, there
are.
is. Yeah,
Oh, we've missed them.
Yeah.
When I walked in, Ashlyn was laughing, and she goes, "I think there's a beagle back there that's talking to me." And I was like, "Yep, probably." We're talking about the dogs that are available for adoption since our last show. So again, they adopted out a lot of dogs, still a lot of dogs that are here that could be for your home or somebody else. So I went into the break, Jessica, and mentioned that here we are in October and people are starting to think about Christmas presents. How many people make the decision, if you could put it into percentage, that decide, oh, we're going to get a dog and we're going to put it under the Christmas tree?
So many people. So I don't even know, too many people, because what we see is all the returns around Valentine's Day. We call it the Christmas puppy return policy. I mean, it is. And so we don't adopt any puppies out. That we do the foster for like the holidays, they can go home, because we believe, then once all the excitement's done, it's a lifetime commitment. So any dog should not be a gift, a present, because, especially for children, because what happens to any gift you give them a couple months later, they throw it to the side and something's new. And then potty training during the winter months, and just all the different things you have, and the hustle and bustle in the new year, it's just not the right time.
I love that you do that.
Yeah. And so summertime ideally is the best, because if you do have a family with children, you want to involve them in, you're going to it's summertime, and I know you don't have school, but you're going to wake up and you're going to potty this puppy, and you're going to help feed this puppy, and you're going to do all these things. So then by the time fall time kids go back to school, the dog already has a routine.
Yes. Yep. Again, we were showing you some animals that are available for adoption, and I'll do a final run through at the end in case you just tuned in and you missed them. Who's this cutie?
That's Harley, and he goes with Angel. They're a bonded pair. Same owner passed away. Yes. And they were left in the backyard, and I think a Good Samaritan brought them to the shelter, but a very rural shelter in Poplar Bluff, where they run out of time quickly. They don't have resources for medical treatment. So her eye was scratched. He was coughing, had an ear infection, all those things. So immediately when they come in, all the intakes go to our Wing Haven location. We have a quarantine area that's actually connected to the vet. So that's great. We knew that they were going to need to be back there. They're currently healthy out of quarantine, but they're a bonded pair, so they will need to go together.
So they do go together.
Yeah.
Okay. So if you are interested in adopting them, again, look at the links that Hannah's dropping for you. And then I think this is our last one. Who's this?
Yeah. So there's actually two. They
There's
just look
two?
alike.
Oh, they do.
It's Thackeray and Binks. And this is...
Did you say Binks?
Binks.
Like Jar Jar Binks?
Yeah. Yeah. Thackeray and Binks. And they're actually just stopping by. So we work with so many rescues, and they're actually going, I think, to Indiana. They were from a hoarding breeding situation. The rescue group, we're like the pit stop. We groom them up, assess them for them, and then they transfer on their way to the other shelter.
Look at you. We mentioned earlier how much these rescues work together, and this is a perfect example of that. So you've made room. How many do you currently have here up for adoption?
18 at the Cottleville location.
Okay, and then you also have the Wing Haven O'Fallon location.
We have 10, I think, there.
So almost
now.
30 total.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, and let's break this down again from a financial standpoint. 30 total. Let's say they have nothing wrong with them, and you're taking them all in, and they just need to be neutered, spayed, get all the regular vet appointments done. For each one of them,
$500.
$500 times 30, folks. Okay,
Yeah.
But that's rare that they don't have anything wrong with them.
Yeah, like that's those three needed dentals because they had horrible teeth falling out. So that was extreme added expense. And then the eye meds for Angel, the antibiotics for Harley, all the things.
Yep. Right. All the things.
All
and
the
all
things.
of that, it's like cha-ching, cha-ching, cha-ching. It adds up. And where do you think they get the money from? They need your help. So that's why we have been doing this segment, why we love this. And we appreciate each and every one of you in whatever facet that you can help out. For those of you that have adopted, thank you from the bottom of our hearts, and giving them the forever home. But then do us a favor. I always put this up on the screen. And, Jessica just mentioned before the importance of doing just this. When you share this show, it's others that are in your following, whatever social media pages that you are on. They see this segment, they see these animals, and they say, oh, well, yeah, that's a dog I'm interested in. So maybe you can't right now. Maybe you've got your own animals, but maybe somebody that is on your social media pages sees that, and that's how they get adopted. Right now, we're on Facebook, we're on YouTube, we're on X, Rumble, we're on Instagram. In fact, let me pop over and make sure nobody's asking questions. Okay, over on Instagram. So that is the need for doing what we put on the bottom of the screen. It's really important, and sometimes that's where these people adapt from.
Absolutely.
Because they see it.
Yeah, 100%. Because it's just, we've had dogs from all over, and, family members share and word of mouth. That's a big thing. Just educating about rescues. Yep. You can find almost any breed, any age in a rescue. And that's just networking and sharing. And we as rescues do the same thing. If we have a great applicant and they're like, but I really want this, and we do think that probably is what they need, or they've had that, then we all together as a community will say, I have a great applicant. Do you have, XYZ? Right. So, and if they can't adopt from our group because we don't have what they're looking for, then, if they still are adopting somewhere, that's a win in our book.
Yeah, that's the networking aspect where they'll say, hey, hang on a second. We know of a dog that you're looking for, and maybe it's over there. So we mentioned at the beginning, but we'll do this again as we wrap up, the big gala that's coming up. There's so many reasons for you to be there. And a lot of it is, again, to give back, see some of these animals that are available to you. You're going to have 3 that will be there. Mm-hmm. And then we'll have the live auction, the silent auction. Again, they've been dropping in for people that maybe want to see the rundown of your items. Do you have that anywhere?
There's a couple reels, but we're going to work on that probably today or tomorrow. We'll get some.
Because they're busy.
We're busy. We will get that. I have all the baskets currently in the back training, and then they're all over. So many people have donated, and we appreciate that.
Well, and I want to say, which is so funny, you had a post that said, oh my gosh, to all of you that put on events, kudos to you, because this is a lot of work.
It's such a lot of work. It really is. It's, we want to make sure that if everybody is supporting us, they're going to have a great time. And that for sure is going to happen. So
it is. So you're seeing there, 5:30, the doors will open. It's at Whitmore Country Club. And the proceeds, again, going to Yuppy Puppies Forever Rescue. Come out, see the dogs, have a good time, get all dolled up, have a great meal, dance to the Steve Ewing band, Steve from Steve's Hot Dogs. We are going to be doing the emceeing and the auctioneering. And again, would love to see you there. So about 175 tickets have been sold so far. We want to keep pushing that over. When are you cutting ticket sales off?
August 9th.
October.
Or, I'm sorry.
I'm like,
next year. See the planning? I've been planning forever. Yes, so October 9th.
October 9th. Okay. So the clock is ticking away. They got to do that because they've got to get the planning in place. She's going through and you're doing table settings right now, right?
Yeah.
Table assignments?
Yeah.
All right. If any of you have any questions about any of the dogs that have been up for adoption, let me know. Diane had said, what a cute pair. How cute Harley is. Is it named? Who named the dogs, by the way?
So if Angel and Harley came with their name, so if we know they came from a situation that they were loved, they're an older dog, we keep the name. But if we don't, if they're in horrible condition, like we know what Sanders' name was, and that's not going to be his name because it could have been used in we do that with puppies too. If it was, they obviously had no training, frustration set in, they're a return. It was, Bailey, no, Bailey this, Bailey. So we just bad association. We just completely change it. And so many people are like, oh, well, I don't know. Should I not change their name? And it takes about 6 weeks for a routine completely to set in. So you can change a dog's name in 6 weeks and follow it up with chicken nuggets and reward it. And they're going to come to it.
Yeah. You know what? Just show them love and they'll come running. Yeah. That's actually a good point that I've thought of in the past. People have said, if a dog's name is this, you have to name it something similar. It's got to end similar. Do you agree with that?
No.
Just give them food, make them happy, and they're good. Julie said, I saw in the news this morning that APA had a van of cats and dogs from the hurricane area. Yeah, we just mentioned the need for these animals, but Jessica was also saying to me at the break that sometimes people will go and try to adopt them out, but they still have a connection to their family. We're trying to reunite them with their family.
Yeah. Hopefully that's why microchipping your pet is so important, and checking the microchip, because it can slip down, it can change, it can rotate over the time. Because we went through this with Hurricane Katrina. The country had grabbed dogs from there, and then people were trying to track down their dogs, and some were found in California all over. And it's the right thing to help the dog in crisis and feed, but if they could transfer the dogs that already maybe were in the shelter, but then give those time. And the rescuers down there, they got it down. They usually have a warehouse, and they tag and keep them and where they were kind of found and located. But yeah, so
microchipping. Yeah, immediately. If you would hate to be separated from your animal, but we're not even talking about catastrophic things like hurricanes. When the 4th of July fireworks go off and the dogs dart out of the house, and you try to, where's my dog? Get them reunited. Microchip. Make sure that they are microchipped. So cute, so happy they were safe. Michelle said earlier, I wish I lost 6 pounds after a haircut.
Right? Yeah.
Jessica, do you take walk-ins for nail trimming? She mentioned yes.
Yeah.
So you can do that. Can you train a dog to stop barking at the age of 10?
Usually, so barking is a form of like frustration, or it's the source of something else. So you need to figure out at what point are they barking? What are they barking at? What am I doing when the dog is barking?
Are you saying it's okay? It's okay. Oh, okay. Then bark more. Now, so if it's barking at a deer or something running by,
I mean, dogs also, that's in their nature. Yes. They're going to alert too. So if they are continuing it, if they're so hyper-focused, they're continuing it, that's maybe an issue, working on some distraction, some recall. But I don't mind if a dog is barking to alert something, or, even a growl. That is a form of, I don't like that, or what's going on. It's all about how long are they doing it, when are they doing it, and really assessing those moments.
And ultimately, you just mentioned that, okay, so I'll just use yesterday, I was doing the show and Tessa's barking in the background just a little bit, and I looked over, I'm like, yeah, it's a deer. They're trying to alert you because in their nature, they want to protect their humans.
Yeah, there's some, and that's not something that happens every day.
No.
So that is an out of the ordinary thing, and that's okay. And then, but if it's, she's still looking out the window, she's still doing it, but a little walk over, what are you doing? Okay. And
let's break this.
Let's go over here. And then she can go lay down, that's what you want.
And don't let them backtalk, because they try to.
Yeah.
They're mouthy. Let's see. My daughter's boyfriends had to bring into their home his mother's Yorkie, and she wasn't trained well to potty train outside. She has accidents in the house. She's 12 years old. Any suggestions? I try my best when I'm over there.
Potty training an older dog and a small dog is tricky. Just more frequent. A lot of times, you want to let your dog out in the morning, or after they eat, or after they drink. But sometimes these little dogs and older dogs need very frequent, so it is harder if you don't work from home or to let them out. We always suggest crating at any age, because a lot of times they won't want to potty in their crate. Sure. And then more frequent. Also, eliminating food and water feeding early. Like the older dogs think just like an older person. Maybe you want to feed them dinner at 3, so then they can go out several times to eliminate any overnight accidents.
Absolutely.
Same thing with puppies. Like we'll do, a very early dinner and start the day early, because what goes in must come out. Right. So you want to help that in routine. But older guys and smaller dogs, we get that all the time. Like, are they potty trained? Yes and no. It's one of those, yes, they are. Do they acknowledge they get happy when they go outside? Do they go to have you train them to kind of go to the door? But little dogs, sometimes they have little bladders, and it's all about watching them too. If a dog can escape and you don't see it, and then you go into your dining room later and they're like, what is that? Where are you? So you can't correct them after the fact either. You can't say, what'd you do? You go outside, because unless you're catching them in the act, you might as well just clean up whatever mess they had because it's over, and then wait for them. So really not giving them the chance to do it. If you see little signs like walking around and you're following them and just getting them to go outside. And even if they don't go potty outside, just getting them in that routine. If you're wandering in here, we're going to go outside. So,
well, I'm glad you said it, because I think I've heard that in the past and wanted to know if that in fact was true, because to me, their memory is short. So if you catch them, you see the pee or the poop or whatever that's been left somewhere, and it's been hours or even minutes, and you didn't see it happen, they don't know what you're talking about.
They have no idea.
And you're scolding them for something in that moment. They're like, what? I'm like wagging my tail and being happy, and you're scolding me. And they go hide and burrow somewhere. So remember that. So we'll give a shout out to Richard. He said Dude's Playground is having a sunset event on Saturday. Doors open at 4. We will have refreshments and snacks. Please feel free to bring your lawn chairs and a cooler. We'll be fishing and watching the beautiful sunset. Love what you do, by the way, Richard. Thank you for being a big viewer of ours and everything you're doing with Dude's Playground. We did a great show on microchipping. Yes, we sure did. Very interesting. We actually showed the microchip. That was when you were gone.
Okay.
Yeah, we showed the little microchip. It's not at all what I thought it looked like.
Yeah.
I was like, what? It's like a TikTok.
TikTok.
TikTok on TikTok. Peppy wears a diaper. Yes, that's another thing. We've got so many things we need to talk about. Peppy wears a diaper, she said. She adopted Peppy. So I never thought about that in the past. And I had a friend come in from Florida, and she had diapers for her dogs. And I was like, oh, maybe that's what I should have done a long time ago. Do you like that idea for?
I do, because I think some dogs, if older, like Jalapeno wears a diaper because obviously he can't control it. It's one of those, like, just like a ponytail in a dog's hair, diaper, clothes, you always want to take off. And so it shouldn't be a end all be all or all the time. But yeah, absolutely.
And change it just like you would change a baby. Don't let them sit in that.
Sometimes older guys just have a little dribble, or they just need it. And I feel like small dogs, if that's going to eliminate, it's all about what works best for everybody. A dog would rather wear a diaper than go to a shelter. So if that's going to eliminate frustration in your home, buy the big pack.
Once again, it's setting them up for success, not failure. Oh, he's 15. Wow. Julie, thank you again, by the way. Julie adopted Peppy from our gala that we had for Yuppy Puppy actually last year. So to all of you, thank you for everything that you've done. Thank you also to Ashlyn. She's been out there showing you what Yuppy Puppy looks like if you've never been. Walking in through that front door, she took us through earlier. And we mentioned that they've got so many different services available to you here at Yuppy Puppy. So take advantage of those. More importantly, give, share, so that people can know about the upcoming gala. And then beyond the gala, we're actually going to do our recap coming up on, let's see, so 1920, 1, 2, 3, 4. 24th.
Okay.
October 24th will be our next show together as we celebrate. We are going to celebrate the success of that night. Looking forward to it for sure. All right, I'm going to take a quick break. We've got a huge show on tap on Friday. So we're having an anniversary. Jim and I are having an anniversary. And then another anniversary on top of it is 400 shows since we started last year. And we've got something big on tap for that. In fact, I think 54 of you have purchased your tickets for that already. After we get beyond that particular show, we have another one coming up on October 10th that I'm going to tell you about. So stay tuned. All of that coming up as we wrap up our Real Monica Adams show here in Cottleville.
Monica's show, it's very informational, but more importantly, inspirational.
People such as myself and others can come out and talk about real issues that are taking place in our communities.
These are amazing, really, really important topics that don't get discussed enough.
It really just promotes people who are making change and doing good in their lives.
Faith, family, farming. You know all about farming, Jessica. Have you been here yet?
I have not.
She's like, wait a minute.
I'm like, where is this? I need to check this out.
Yes, you do. It's in Defiance. And right there, as you go down 94 and you go turn where the biker bars were, which now is Circle 6 Meat Market and the watering hole on the left side where the bike shop was.
Yes.
That's what they took over.
Awesome.
So it's right adjacent to the Katy Trail. And she met me at a farmer's market that they were at. And she said, Monica, I want you to come out. We want to do a mobile Monica with you. And I was like, yeah, let's do it. And we've been talking about it for the last several months. And then it just made sense for us to do it on our 400th celebration. So this is the outside. You can recognize that building. Yep. Adjacent to the Katy Trail. And the weather's going to be gorgeous, by the way, on Friday for us to have this awesome show. Not only do they have the watering hole where these incredible steaks are and all the food, the drinks, but then they have the market, which you're going to love. Trust me, bring your money with you because you're going to want to bring a lot of things home afterwards. Also things for pets. I keep getting the dog's treats there.
Yeah.
And you know, Opus he's not treat motivated, but he ate the treats from there.
Nice.
Yes. So we've got our show. So here's the deal. At noon today, so you've got 4 hours left. At noon today, we're cutting off ticket sales online. I will talk to Tiffany. She said that they had enough steaks that they had ordered, I think for 80. So if you wanted to buy tickets day of, you could. Ideally, just like Jessica mentioned, you don't really want to wait to the last second because they've got all this planning. It's steak, potatoes, salad. This is what I love. She said, we're going to serve that on real plates for the Real Monica Adams show. So yes, it's a really nice steak dinner, couple drinks, tickets. And I mentioned earlier on, Ruby Lee from The Voice is coming. That's my special guest who I met through this show. Absolutely love her. We've become super great friends. She wanted to come there and celebrate with us. So we'll sit down and talk with her. Pat and Lisa Byrne, who are from Responder Rescue, the organization benefiting from our night. So the tickets are $40. The proceeds going to Responder Rescue. And they've had their work cut out for them this year. You know, we were talking about the officer Lee that had passed away in the city, the officer from Ferguson, who is now out of a medically induced coma. So the progress in that, but these organizations step in when an officer is killed in the line of duty and injured in the line of duty and sometimes cannot return to their passion. And we're hoping that TJ is able to return. Where our thoughts and prayers obviously going out to him and his family. Can we get 9 at a table? Are you asking for the gala with Yuppy Puppy? Are you asking for the event on Friday? Let me know that, Marilyn. I'll how fun. Can't wait. Julie, are you coming? I hope so. A lot of you that I have met over the years, are we inside or outside tomorrow night? That's up to you because there's room inside and outside. Can't wait to celebrate you, Monica. Well, Tiffany is on right now from Circle 6, by the way. If you have any questions for her, she can answer that. Oh, yes. Are you saying yes to the 9 at a table? Inside or outside? Both. Tiffany, thank you. Boom, boom, boom. So we are looking forward to this. If you haven't been, they're located again right there on 94. Beautiful place. Love the fact that they followed their passion to open this up, but they also have the farm just a few miles away, which is Circle 6. And she has, ready for this, the #1 bull in the country.
Nice.
So it's all about DNA. It's all about genetics.
Yes, it is.
So the steak's going to taste different probably from any steak you've ever had. So yes, now you got to tell everybody about this. She was like salivating. Where is this, Monica? Yeah. Julie said, I'm coming to both. Thank you, by the way. Yes, ma'am. 9 to a table. And yes, inside and out. So we'd love to see you there celebrating 400 shows. And thank you for being a part of a lot of those 400. It's been a wonderful ride. And we can't wait to see you. Tomorrow morning, before we do that, we're going to have Friendship Friday with Dot Fleshman, with Coldwell Banker Gundaker. We're going to talk about real estate in the beginning, but she's flipping the tables on me. So we've been friends for 17 years and she's going to interview me. She wants to know how much I know about our friendship.
Nice.
And I was like, oh, great.
I need to do a recap.
You can do it to me?
I need to interview you.
Okay.
Recap.
All right.
Yeah.
Let's do that on the 24th as we celebrate together. Hanging with the ladies tomorrow. Great, Julie. Thank you. So until Tiffany, we need 9 things. Come on, Jessica. You want to be there. What are you doing Friday?
I don't know.
Yeah. All right. So we'll talk about this.
What are you doing on the 19th, Marilyn?
Yeah. Did she buy her ticket yet?
You know what? I don't know. I don't think so.
Marilyn, are you coming to the gala? Answer that question for us. Everybody else, until noon today, again. And Tiffany, since you are still on, let us know, when would you like ticket sales to be cut off? Because we do want to respect you and all of your planning, by the way. Noon today on our website, TheRealMonicaAdams.com. And I saw a bunch of ticket sales coming in last night, by the way. But for you, would they still be able to buy day of? I don't want to stress you out there because I know you've got a lot that you're doing. So we've sold 54 on our website. So I thought so. She said I was one of the first to buy to the gala.
Okay.
She's like, wait a minute, I am coming. Yes. So day of, let's find out. Did you count me about you coming? This is why I wish I was on radio and have people call in. I don't know. We're having this discussion with all of you. This is what we do. They can buy day of. I thought so. Would be super helpful to purchase today.
Yeah.
Exactly. So if you can purchase your tickets online today, do so. I think she's also sold some if people have just popped in to it. Leona too. Yes, I think all of you are coming to the gala and to the event. Thank you, by the way, because you're such huge supporters. And we're going to put some of you maniacs, because that's what you call of yourselves, Monica Maniacs, on the show tomorrow night if you'd like to come on, because you'd like to celebrate together. Michelle came up with this. She's so creative. So you know the game where you stand up and you put your hands on your head or your hands on your butt when you flip the coin and it's heads or tails. She's going to do tomorrow night. We're going to play last meat standing. So one side's a pig and one side's a cow.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, very cute. We'll have some trivia. We've got giveaways for you. We're going to have a lot of fun. Kathleen's coming to both as well. Thank you. Support. All right. I have 100 steaks cut from the 4 steers that we took in 2 weeks ago, but it would be helpful to know for prepping. Yes. So if you can do so, wonderful. Right now, tell everybody that you can to purchase tickets before noon today. Purchase tickets for that and purchase tickets for the gala. I want you to help all across the board. And thank you to all of you that are regular viewers from day one when we started this back in April. At the same time, thank you to everyone that has shared the show to all of their family and friends, letting them know to watch this because we have a lot of fun together. Ashlyn, thank you. She's outside. Oh yeah, she just showed my car. There it is. There's the outside of Yuppy Puppy Pet Spa in Cottleville. So come on in, whatever it is that you need service-wise. And don't forget about the special that they're running. So if you have the dogs that you set up for grooming every 4 weeks, for the end of the year, you get 50% off of the grooming come January.
It's a great way to kick off 2025.
Right?
Yep.
For success.
And so the next time we'll be on here will be after the gala.
So before we wrap up, Tiffany just said, can we help promote the gala? Can you send some material?
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
We will do that. And at the same time.
And same thing. If she wants to promote Circle 6 at the gala, we can do some of that as well.
Okay. If you've got anything you want to put together, by the way, maybe for a live or a silent auction, Chuck from Defiance Ridge asked if you needed more. He would like to put something together for you.
Absolutely.
So he wants to put something together for Friday night and for the gala.
We have about 60 baskets already, and they're fantastic, but they're all different kind of ranges. So we're collecting through next Friday, like pretty much when ticket sales end. Then that's when we're just going to cut it off. So I would love anything else to collect for that.
I'll put a basket together for it.
Thank you.
There you go. The love, the kindness. I love it. Thank you, Michelle. One more time. She said, happy anniversary, Jim and Monica, and happy 400th show, and happy anniversary to us for a year. Just the love is all over the place today. Honey, I love you. Can't wait to see you shortly. We're going to see Back to the Future at the Fox, the musical, which I've heard is phenomenal. So if you haven't bought tickets and you want to go to a matinee show, and they've got an evening show as well, do that. All right, everybody. Thank you so much. Thank you for tuning in today. Enjoy the day. Enjoy the next 10 days at least. It's going to be absolutely gorgeous. Get outside, enjoy it, and do what all of you have been doing, showing kindness. Love you all.